Coach, you're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. We're just about set to get started, and this ought to be a good one between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Seattle Seahawks. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, it is a sound like no other when they raise that 12th man flag here in Seattle. We just heard it, and that means it's time for football at CenturyLink Field. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Seattle Seahawks. Two teams here fresh off Week 1 victories who can keep it going as we're underway on EA Sports. This one fielded at the 5. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. North of 100 yards, the 2 scores. And, you know, you got to give a lot of credit to the O-line. We talked a lot about him, but offensive line was good too.
They're obviously in sync with each other, whether it's zone blocking, power running game, no matter what. He understands how to read them and find the creases that they provide.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Cameron Sutton. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Steeler touchdown. And the defense could not have written a much better script than that first drive, pick 6.
The offense never got a chance to really get oiled up there, did they? But the defense, they certainly got in gear. What a big-time play and a great way for them to start.
And now the offense, they've got to turn things around and figure this out because your backs are on the ground real quickly.
Yeah, usually when you're starting the game getting the ball, 0-0 is the only score you're worried about. Now the second time you get it, you're already down a touchdown.
Now the try here for the extra point. And he'll put it through to make it 7-0 Steelers. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. This is taken at his 4. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Back to the air, Wilson after the pick 6. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
Everyone got four down.
Throwing is Wilson. Here's Carson with a catch out of the backfield. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film. I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
On 4th down, on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. Back deep for the Steelers, Ryan Switzer. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback.
Got it. Rock to the center. Switch up.
First carry for James Conner. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
That's it, baby.
Offensive starters, here they are. David DeCastro, what do you think about him, Charles?
Brandon could not have been better trained at Stanford. So well schooled in the run game and the pass game, and especially in pro principles. David DeCastro could be an all-pro in the years to come.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Harris now, operating from the gun. And this is taking him one-handed. What a catch. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Gotta love the catch. I think you gotta love the gloves as well.
Yeah, these one-handed catches, that was great, and they're fun. They become a little more ho-hum, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are, and I know that it sounds like we're taking credit away from the guys, and we don't mean that at all. They really work hard on this one-handed catch thing, but I think the gloves have to be helping in a big way.
Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a first down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, a sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner. A look now at the lineup defensively here for Seattle. They're going to need to be strong against the run in this one.
We know it's only week 1, but the results look pretty good so far. The key is, can they do it week in and week out? Because right now, they're not awarding any championships or trophies after 1 week of performance. Got some nice young faces playing for them. Let's see if they can get this going.
On 2nd down, Conner looking for space. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
On 1st and 10 is Conner. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
2nd and 3. They'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 19.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Set 18 Gator. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Bobby Wagner, the former second-rounder out of Utah State, with a sack.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Back to throw. Harris. Washington's got it. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it. They love it, because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
On 3rd down, Harris. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
Just looking at it from a defensive perspective, when you break the huddle in the red zone, tight end is one of the guys you've got a key on, because quarterbacks want the ball in their hands fast in this position, and they want to get it to someone. In this case, he had the play. They just didn't complete it.
So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone, get you 6?
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Offense now set to come back out on the field. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. On 2nd down now. It's Carson, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. 10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports.
Check 55 for Mike. Check the out, check the out, check the out.
On 3rd down, Wilson. He completes it to the tight end, Knox. And they're going to have themselves another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 45-yard line.
The beauty of route running is it doesn't matter what position, everyone's doing the same thing. In this case, tight end, selling the vertical route. Get the defensive back on his heels, break off for the corner, and with good timing, you get a completion, as we just saw there.
On 1st down, Carson. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Right, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Wilson, after the play fake to Carson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Devin Bush in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that will lead to 4th down.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long, why are you calling play action?
Yeah, because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking, but to me it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and it leads to a play-action sack. So here are the Steelers to take over on offense. They played the Browns last week, got the victory in that game, and so far so good as they've got the lead here.
Let's go. 70, Indy. Let's go. Man up, ready?
The drive will start with Connor. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster.
Complete to Juju Smith-Schuster. A 9-yard gain on the play. And it's 3rd down.
Came up a little short on the last pass play. They did get 9 yards out of it, leaving him with his 3rd and 1. They'll try and run for it with Connor, and he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
So in their own territory, but they only need a few inches, so they're going to opt to go for this thing. We'll see. Maybe a surprise pass or run. What will they do? We're about to find out. 4th down. They'll run for it with Connor, and this will depend on the mark. I'm not sure he pushed the line forward, and indeed he did not. They stop him. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Seahawks, they'll get the football back in outstanding field position. So they take a big chance here in their own territory, and you think the coach may have some questions to answer?
Yeah, and, you know, normally we focus on the media, right, the social media barrage that he's going to get for this one. How about on his own sideline and in his locker room? Because I think the team's going to look at him like, Coach, why would we go for it there? I mean, no confidence in the defense. You don't like the punter. I mean, what's going on here? You owe us some explanations.
50 to Mike. 50 to Mike. Let's go, tackle. Let's go. We got this.
On 2nd down, it's Carson, and he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1. The Seahawks on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. This is caught, and he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Tyler Lockett, his first touchdown here of the new campaign, as they are now on the board here in the 1st half.
When we draw up defenses on the board, we do account for every receiver. But on that particular play, somehow he was wide open, became an easy touchdown pass.
The extra point up and good, and that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned it to 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one goes for 24 yards.
You ready? Mike, 54 is Mike. Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54. He can't hang. He's not going to get me. 5.
They'll run on 1st down. Connor. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. On the run is Connor. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Looking to throw. Harris. Open man. Smith-Schuster. It's complete. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 31-yard line. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. 10-7, our score. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this second week of the regular season. On 1st down, it's Connor. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Now a pass that's taken in by Smith-Schuster. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
Back to throw. Harris. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. They'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at 2nd down. The Steelers signal for the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. 2nd and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. 2nd and 2. And this is going to be intercepted. Julian Love picks it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Let's bring it.
After the interception, here's Wilson. He's going to take off with it, and he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6. So we've hit halftime, just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get you back to you and Charles in a bit, but first it's time for a trip around the NFL following an eventful opening weekend. Let's see what's happening in Week 2. We'll begin our tour up at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, and it's the Titans out in front in that one. 2 touchdown passes for Matthew Stafford. From there, we head over to MetLife Stadium to check in on the Jets. And they were losers in their ball game as they fall to the visiting Washington Redskins. Darius Geis, well over 100 yards on the ground with a pair of touchdown runs. Finally, let's get you to Baltimore. Check on the Ravens at home at M&T Bank Stadium. And it was the visiting LA Rams who get the victory in that one. 27-14, the final tally. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a defensive struggle. Which offense can break through in the second half? Find out? Let's hand it over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So here are the Steelers to take over on offense. They were 3-point winners a week ago. They lead by 3 here as well as they start 1st and 10.
50, plant. Oh, you got deep?
Third quarter starts with a run from Connell. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
What? Ready? Rip right, rip right. Watch out.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Carson, and they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. And 20 at the 19. Call it a gain of 5, and it'll be 3rd down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially.
And he's taken to the ground, but he was pulled down by the face mask. Here come the flags, and I believe this is going to be a 1st down. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it is going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage.
It's going to be a long day, offense. It's going to be
Now it's Wilson. It's complete to Lockett. And here he'll get it down to the 7. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and they're going to have a 3rd down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Here's Wilson. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Tyler Lockett with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Seahawks have taken the lead.
I know we often laugh, and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us some really funny lines. But the bottom line is absolute production on the field. His 2nd touchdown of the game, and they lead.
And now they'll be looking to their defense to preserve that lead. And a pause in the action because the booth, they see something that they want to take another peek at to find out if this was a touchdown or not. They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for, and this touchdown will count. Extra point right down the middle, and the lead is now 14-10. The drive summary that time, 5 plays, and the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Here's James Conner now as he trots back onto the field. He had that critical fumble on the last drive, of course, and that, at least to this point, is the difference in the game.
And when I see those types of things happen, I often take a step back now. Younger in my career, I was probably way more critical about ball security, taking care of it, and what it does to a team. And in this case, it cost his team because ultimately they gave up a touchdown. But I was doing a high school game years ago in the state of Florida. Frank Gore with the Indianapolis Colts was starring in that game, had 3 fumbles in the first half. Ran for over 300 yards and shredded the team. Be very careful about getting on your top runner too much.
Yeah, you can put that in the rearview mirror, look forward. Let's see if he can respond.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. Conner on first down going to be stopped up as he'll lose about 3. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
2nd and 13. Complete to Washington. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 35. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. On the counter, it's Conner. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage, it'll be back at the 36. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Let's go. 60 Pittsburgh. Get it.
To throw is Harris. To throw on 2nd down. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 22-yard line. first down. It's Connor. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Again, a run with Connor. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So now then, the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. They stay on the ground. Here's Connor again. Hammering for the goal line. He loses the football.
Here comes the ball. Save, boys. Save.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Second and goal from the 1.
2 times, 2 times. 4 down.
2nd and 1. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Not only did they drop what looked like an interception in the end zone, they blew a golden opportunity to shift the momentum.
This stadium once registered as the loudest roar ever recorded, and you can hear them now. 3rd and goal. Harris from the gun, he'll throw. And he's in for 6 and a Steeler touchdown. It's their quarterback. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Steelers are going to retake the lead. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a 2nd one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. Then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. Point after, right down the middle. And it's now 17-14. That time, 5. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line.
Let's go. Let's go.
The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense get the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. From the gun, it's Wilson. He'll check that down to Carson. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Now they'll try to convert on 3rd and 6 after the 4-yard completion. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And fourth down now coming up. The Seahawks send out their punter as he's on to kick it away. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. They start with a give to Connor. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. So both teams trade touchdowns, and the third as we're through 3 quarters of play. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Again, it's Connor. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word, put it in bold. Here we go. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them, because they know that they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Wilson. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
It's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. Play action. Now Wilson. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. 47 yards on the punt that time, just 1 yard on the return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. On 1st down, Connor going to be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Defensively, Sam Hubbard, the former Buckeye, there to stop him.
But Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Connor on 1st down, working his way forward for about 4 yards. 2nd down coming up. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back. Those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
That'll get them to 1st down as they get 9 yards out of that quick slant. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomped down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down. On 2nd down, Samuels. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
But they didn't accomplish their goal. They didn't get a stop there, gave up another 1st down. They have all 3 timeouts in their pocket. I think defensively you've got to start thinking about using them here.
I was just going to ask you at what point you think now's the go time?
I think now's the go time. I don't think you sit back and wait because they can take a lot of time off the clock between plays and run 3 to 4 and really put you in a stressful spot.
They'll run on 1st down. Connor. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
Right there, 54, right there, 54 Mike.
3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. They'll stay on the ground with Connor again. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
Hey, Charlie!
Now Connor. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Whistles now and a timeout. So defensively they burn it here with 1:51 left. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10.
Let's set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone.
Toss play, Connor. And here's another tackle made at the line, so they're converging well on the football now. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. This is Johnson. He's got it. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
It's 1st and goal, and a late touchdown at this stage could officially salt this one away. They'll run here with Connor. And he'll keep working toward that end zone as he's down to about the 2-yard line. It'll be a 3-yard pickup, and it brings up 2nd and goal. From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. They'll look to run with Connor, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
Now Harris going to throw on 3rd and goal. And this will be caught. Well, forget taking the knee. Some late gamesmanship here as they throw for a late touchdown.
Well, that was absolutely ideal for them, wasn't it? Trying to salt this game away. I think one of my kids just graduated in the amount of time they had the football. That was absolutely impressive.
Everybody wants those salt-away-the-game drives. What makes them successful?
Well, when you're able to mix run-pass, when you're able to control the football and stay ahead of the chains, I'm using every cliche I know, but that's how you get it done because you're not taking negative plays, and that way you're able to run what you want to run when you get a chance to call it.
So we had action to the very end of this one. The score on the final play that they didn't need to have. They didn't just run out the clock, though. They added to their final total.
Played it all the way to the end. And, you know, some coaches preach that and tell their teams, that's what I want all the time. And they feel like if they don't do it themselves, they're not living up to the message that they're sending out.
So for the Steelers, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Seattle, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.